Hey guys, what's up? It's Corbin Stuckey from Pixel Talk here, and tonight I'm here to give you a review on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay, so first off, I want to apologize for not making a video in the past 2 to 3 weeks. I've just been really busy with prom and exams at my high school that I just haven't really had time to make a review of anything. I saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2 a week ago on Sunday, and I've been meaning to make a review on it, but I've just had a lot on my plate. The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, was actually one of the first films that I ever reviewed. So if you want to check that out on my Corbin Stuckey Vlogs channel, I'll put a link down below for you to click and check that out. And also, if you're interested in knowing what's going on in my personal life, and me just vlogging, subscribe to Corbin Stuckey Vlogs, which is the channel that has the first Spider-Man review on it. So yeah, let's get started with this review on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So first off, I want to say that I am a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes. I would say that I'm a pretty hardcore fan. In this box right here, I've got some comics. This is actually one of the first issues of Amazing Spider-Man that I ever collected. This is 546. It's the first issue in A Brand New Day. And as you can see here, I've got a whole bunch of comics. I would say, let's see here. The first one I've got starts from 541. This one ends at 648. So I have over 100 issues. But I actually have more issues downstairs, so it's very possible that I have likely more than 200 Amazing Spider-Man comics. I've also got this Amazing Spider-Man keychain right here. Oh my god, it's so cute. So you guys can obviously tell that I was looking forward to The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I couldn't wait to see it. Unfortunately, I have mixed feelings about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The best way to describe The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is, I don't know, like a bag of trail mix. I mean, there is some good stuff in here that, people like, but there's also a bunch of stuff that people don't like. I don't know, if you like junk food, there's fruits in here. I mean, it's a mixed bag of stuff. You get my point. Alright, so it's a mixed feeling type movie, blah. First off, I want to get out of the way that visually this movie is incredible. The way that Spider-Man moves around and swings through the city, you get that sense of rush, the way that the camera is filmed when you're following him behind. It is a great sense of feeling, that acceleration, that fall, that adrenaline. It's definitely the perfect Spider-Man movie to watch. I especially like the angles where it shows him webbing to a building. It almost seemed like a video game, sort of. I love the points of views in this movie. Andrew Garfield is definitely Spider-Man in this film. He has defined himself as Peter Parker. He was definitely a fan of the comics before he started this, and you can just tell that he is a huge Spider-Man fan, and he knows what Spider-Man is about, and I just think that he is such a huge character in this. Not only as Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker. You can tell that he's just, he knows who Peter Parker is. He's an every guy, and he knows who the character is, and he just did a really good job as Peter Parker. He's been doing this since the first movie, and he did it again in the second one, and it was outstanding. Props to you, Andrew Garfield, for pulling off Amazing Spider-Man. The relationship between Andrew and Emma is just amazing on the screen. You can definitely tell that Mark Webb has had experience with this. Mark Webb actually directed 500 Days of Summer, which is probably one of the best romantic comedies ever. So it's pretty obvious that he's good with relationship type movies, and you can see that he has put that factor into The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with the chemistry that is forming between Andrew and Emma on the screen. Dane something, I don't know. Dane DeHaan? Dane, I'll call him Dane. I think he did a decent job as Harry Osborn, and it wasn't bad acting at all. I mean, there were some plot holes in the character himself, and a lot of unanswered questions, but props to you, Dane. The only problem that I had acting-wise in the movie was Jamie Foxx as Max, who becomes Electro in the movie. I don't know, I feel as though his character was just incredibly goofy. The those factors kind of went away when he became Electro. But I'm going to go a little bit more into that when I get into spoilers, which is probably what I'm going to do now. So if you guys, I'm pretty sure all of you have seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's been a week, but I'm just going to say this just in case. If you haven't seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I would suggest to go see that and come back here so we can discuss, spoilers about the movie and discuss why the movie was good at some angles and why it was just kind of on other angles. Okay, so the movie itself, let's talk about the plot. Andrew Garfield plays Peter Parker once again, and he is basically, the protector of New York. He's Spider-Man, of course, and he's having trouble in his love life because of a promise that he made to Captain Stacy in the first film, saying, like, hey, you have to stay away from Gwen, you're Spider-Man, you're going to get her hurt. And as he's, swinging across the city, he sees, like, images of Stacy, or I guess, like, a ghost or something, I don't know, like visions. And he breaks off with Gwen Stacy again. He breaks up with her, and I don't know. It was kind of weird because he did that in the last film, and then he got back together with her, and then he did it again. So it was just kind of weird how, like, he broke off that relationship again, like how they keep going back and forth. I just thought that was kind of weird and I guess annoying to me, but yeah, it was, I don't know, it was just one thing that I didn't enjoy. But when they were trying to get back together in the movie, the chemistry was definitely great. It was definitely funny too, and I absolutely loved it. Also, Harry Osborn in the movie. We see Norman Osborn for the first time in this movie, which I don't know. I think is a real big waste to me, if you ask me. We have this great actor who's been in a lot of stuff. I forgot his name, but I've seen him in stuff like the villain in the Muppets, right? I think so. Well, anyways, we see this great actor playing Norman Osborn, and they went off and they killed Norman Osborn off in the movie. He's dying of an illness. And I don't know if they've actually killed him off. I don't know if this is just like, I don't know, a twist forming for other future films. But for now, they've killed off Norman Osborn. And basically, Harry has this virus in him too, as well. And the whole movie is about like Harry, like, trying to, find a cure for his illness. And yeah. So he ends up going to Spider-Man because he later finds out in the film that the spiders have healing abilities. And, obviously Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and he goes to Harry as Spider-Man, and he's like, hey, Peter Parker said that you wanted to talk, and I can't give you my blood to help you with your illness. And the reason why is because, like, he's afraid that the blood is going to contaminate him and kill him, which is understandable, I guess, but to me, that was just sort of a weird thing to do, because Harry's already died. He said that in the film. He's like, I'm already dying. Why can't you do this for me? And like that, he made a very valid point too in the film. And it was just kind of weird how like Peter would not help his best friend, with his illness. I guess it was like he didn't want to be responsible for killing him, but like he said, he's already dying, so it really just doesn't matter. I think in a situation like that, I would do whatever I can to help my friend, and even though there would already be a consequence, I mean, have at it. Let's go ahead and save you, or try to save you at least. It was just kind of weird how like he kind of stepped back away from that. Also, if Harry wanted to like be cured with like spider abilities, why not just try being bit by a spider in Oscorp? Because we saw in the first film that there were a whole bunch of spiders when Peter went into that one room and got bit by the spider. So we already know there are a bunch of spiders in Oscorp, and Harry at this point owns Oscorp. Why wouldn't he just go to that room and get bit by a spider? It doesn't really make any sense to me, and that was one plot hole that I felt should have been established. And it's just, I don't know, like there wasn't any logic to that. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't do that. Also, I want to talk about Max Dillon, or Electro. Before he becomes Electro, Max is this really, 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 really nerdy guy. It's almost, he is so nerdy that it's unlikable. Like, it's it's almost kind of weird and unrealistic. Like, I don't want to say he was the Jar Jar Binks of the movie, but I want to say he was pretty close. During the beginning of the movie, he's saved by Spider-Man, and he grows an obsession over him, which sounds completely normal. I mean, if I was saved by Spider-Man, I'd be like, wow, I want to be just like you save people. But the obsession in the movie itself was so incredibly weird. It was almost as if he was in love with Spider-Man. Like, it was his birthday, and he had like a cake in the refrigerator, and he would take it out and say, oh, did you make this for me, Spidey? Thank you, I really appreciate it. I love you, Spidey. Like, it was almost like he was in love with Spider-Man, and it was almost kind of creepy, and it didn't fit into the character whatsoever. I mean, I feel as though, like, if they wanted to make an awkward scientist, I feel as though they could have done that a little more professionally and more realistic. It just seemed kind of silly the way he acted. But when he became Electro, he became this whole new person, I guess. But I don't know, it was just kind of weird how, like, we had this one persona of Electro related to Max in the movie. It just, they didn't connect at all, because, you know, he's very, like, threatening Electro, and we have the nerdy guy. I don't know, it didn't seem right to me. But Electro himself, the villain, was pretty cool. How, like, he could, like, control electricity and become electricity and go through, like, you know, wires and everything. I thought that was really cool because, you know, this is probably, like, the second, like, big biological villain that we've gotten, because we had Sandman in Spider-Man 3, and I don't want to say the Lizard was a biological, well, he was, but, like, he couldn't control matter or anything like that. We have Sandman, now we have Electro, who controls electricity. So I give props to them for trying to do that. That was really cool. And also, another problem that I had was the climax of the film when we were reaching the end. So Harry breaks Electro out of the prison, and he says, like, I need your help, and he uses him to break back into Oscorp in order to find this spider venom to cure himself, which made sense, you know, like, hey, you can break into Oscorp, you're the only one who can do that. And he breaks in, has the venom, and then he turns into the Green Goblin. And that actually makes sense, because his blood isn't compatible with, like, you know, the venom, but it's only after that point where things started getting out of hand. Like the Blackout in New York, for example. Why was Electro doing this in the first place? It just seems like in these Amazing Spider-Man movies, these villains don't have a motive whatsoever. Like the Lizard, for some odd reason in the Amazing Spider-Man 1, wanted to turn everyone into lizards. And why, though? Why did you want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. And in this one, Electro causes a blackout in the city. That doesn't make sense either. What's your motive behind that? Why did you want to do that? Is there a reason why you wanted to do that? It just doesn't make any sense. And another thing that I had a problem with the movie, in the movie, it's foreshadowed a lot, but a lot of comic readers know that Gwen Stacy dies in the comics, and that she was probably going to die in this one too, because, like, you know, they were showing posters of Green Goblin online, and they were like, oh, this is coming to that point where, like, Green Goblin's going to kill Gwen Stacy. Which, another thing I have a problem with is that it was Norman Osborn who sort of killed Gwen Stacy. Well, I don't know, if we're going to get technical, Spider-Man sort of killed Gwen Stacy by, like, catching her with a web and snapping her neck, which happened in the comics. But it wasn't Harry Osborn as Green Goblin who was there. It was Norman Osborn, which was a problem that I had. But, like, it was a small problem, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Well, anyways, back to the knowing that, you know, Gwen Stacy was going to die. I knew she was going to die because I read the comics and everything, but I feel as though in the movie it was just foreshadowed way too much. Like even the people in the audience who didn't read the comics knew that was going to happen. Like, it was foreshadowed way too much. Like, there was talk about, like, her going to, like, you know, England and stuff like that, and Peter was like, I'll move to England with you. We're going to live happily ever after. And it was foreshadowed way too much, and I saw that coming. Even though I read the comics, I saw it coming in the movie as well. I think what would have made her death in the movie so much more dramatic is that if they stayed together in the movie, like, they didn't break off and they just stayed in their relationship in the movie, and were happy and we saw that side of the relationship, and then she dies. I think that would have been so much more dramatic, and it would have, like, added on, and, you know, people probably would have cried in the movie if, like, there was a little bit more of that balanced relationship. But besides them breaking up, Mark Webb did a fantastic job with the chemistry between him and Gwen, and it was fantastic. And I can't wait to see Amazing Spider-Man 3, because we get to see the chemistry between Peter and Mary Jane, which is another thing that I had a problem with. And these are the same problems that I had with the first film. For some reason, they've been cutting scenes out of the Amazing Spider-Man films. I don't know why. I guess they think that it's going to ruin the movies or something. I don't know. This is a subject that I was talking about in the first review of the Amazing Spider-Man. They're cutting out scenes a lot in these movies, and there was actually like some scenes in the trailer that they cut out. And I don't know why they're doing that. I mean, why would you show these scenes in the trailer and not have them in the movie? It didn't make sense whatsoever. But the Mary Jane scenes in the movie, they weren't actually shown in the trailer, but like, you know, there were pictures online with the girl from The Descendants, I think, the redheaded chick, or you know, the girl from Divergent, like as Mary Jane Watson. There were pictures online, and people assumed that she was going to be in the movie, but they cut her out. So I don't know what the deal is with them like cutting out these scenes from these movies. I guess they think they're going to ruin them or something. I don't know. Like, it just didn't seem right. I don't know. Like I think as that actress, I think I would be pissed off. You know, it just didn't seem logical at all. One more problem that I had in the movie, and this is more like of a problem with advertisement, is the Rhino in the movie. So if you've ever seen that movie, The Gray, you know that movie got so much trash talk because like the ending of that movie was basically in the trailer. You know, like where, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but the ending is in the trailer itself, and that's why people were pissed off. Same thing in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The ending is in the trailer. You know that scene in the movie where like Spider-Man is coming towards the Rhino and about to hit him? That was in the trailer. You know what I'm talking about? That is the ending of the movie. There's not an actual fight between Spider-Man and the Rhino. It's like, ooh, you want this piece of candy? Too bad! It doesn't actually happen. I know there's like advertisements of 3 villains in the film, you know, Electro, Green Goblin, and the Rhino, but the Rhino actually is not a villain in this movie at all. Like, you don't see really anything. There's no fight scene with him whatsoever. And it was really cool to see that suit and like how it was so realistic, because like it was like sort of a mech. It had like machine guns, and I think it would have been cool to see like as a last scene Spider-Man fighting the Rhino. And I was like really hoping like, okay, please have a fight scene before this movie ends. Please have a fight scene. And they didn't have a fight scene. It ended, and I was like, oh my god. And another problem that relates to that is the Green Goblin. Like his scene in the movie was like only like 2 minutes long. It was like, what the heck, man? Why would you like? I don't know. It's weird. The last problem that I have with the movie itself is that Harry Osborn knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he's still alive. So like Harry is like in prison right now, and like he you know, is talking with this guy, and it's basically building up to the Sinister Six, and like I don't know. It's just it's incredibly weird. Like, and almost I'm surprised that like Peter Parker isn't worried about this, because not only does, like, you know, Harry know about his identity, but there's Dr. Kirk Connors as well, the lizard from the first film. So there are 2 villains in prison who know of Spider-Man's identity. Why does that not scare him at all? But yeah, that's why I have like mixed feelings for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But visually, the movie was stunning. It was great. Definitely an adrenaline rush. I did kind of feel bad that Gwen died at the end of the film, but I think that they could have had more of a reaction from audiences, and it's just kind of too bad that like this film that was supposed to be so important had such mixed reactions. Like, I feel really bad, but I feel as though the third one is going to be great. Mary Jane Watson's going to be in it. Mark Webb is such a great director when it comes to romance, and it's going to be cool seeing like, you know, Peter Parker, you know, talking to Mary Jane Watson in the Amazing Spider-Man series. As long as they don't you know, try to cover that up, you know, with Gwen's backstory, because like you know what happened in this film. You know, Peter and Gwen, that didn't work out because of Captain Gwen Stacy. So if Gwen doesn't become the Captain Gwen Stacy of Amazing Spider-Man 3, then it'll be a successful film. But if that like causes Peter to like walk away from the Mary Jane Watson relationship, then the movie could suffer. So Mark Webb, if you're watching this, make a legitimate Spider-Man movie where there is a good relationship, a good connection, and don't have any emotional like blockage like Gwen in there. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like not overall, you know? So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you liked it, please like, share with your friends, comment down below what you thought of this review, and please subscribe to my review video game channel, Pixel Talk. Alright guys, thank you so much for viewing, and yeah, add me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, Corbin Stuckey. I will see you later. Bye.